have this week that distracted driving is already against the law. What I find ironic, and why this is even worth mentioning, all right, is that the notion that Republicans think Democrats have exclusives on personally invasive legislation. This is why there is no difference, theoretically, philosophically, politically, between Democrats and Republicans.
Two sides of the same tarnished coin.
Exactly. They all want your money. They all want power. They care about nothing less. It's a power trip, folks. We'll be right back in just a moment. You're listening to the Coalition on Talk Radio, Facebook.com/Coalition Radio, Coalition_radio at the Mighty Mighty Twitter, and CoalitionRadio.us. And you are about to listen to a little bit of Anti-Flag. And, of course, that was Anti-Flag with one of the theme songs, unofficial, I might add, if ASCAP is listening, of the Coalition radio show. You can kill the protester, but you can't kill the protest. I want to take this moment, of course, to speak about one of our sponsors, Beacon Shipping and Logistics, 855-374-4748, your home-sound solution for international and national shipping of automobiles, used by dealers nationwide, used by automobile professionals like myself. You don't have to go up on a sketchy website to get the best internet deal. You don't have to talk to someone from a different part of the country or a different part of the world to take care of your valuable automobile, whether it be shipping it down to Florida, or I guess in this case, it's time to bring it back. Have we met the 181-day mandatory vacation stay in Florida in order to ensure continued citizenship and avoidance of any personal tax incriminations here in Rhode Island, Dave, yet?
I don't think we have.
All right, so any day now. Any day now, there's legions of seasoned citizens across Florida counting down the days so that they can avoid the Rhode Island confiscatory taxes. When that time has come, the way to get your car back is Beacon Shipping and Logistics. Is your kiddo doing an internship in some crazy city, unpaid, overworked, for some multinational in an attempt to break out of Rhode Island? Well, then that's the time to ship that car to them, whether it be in San Francisco, whether it be in Maine, whether it be Florida, across the nation. Competitive rates, fully insured. You'll know who's got your car, and you'll know when it's going to show up. Of course, that is the fine folks at Beacon Shipping and Logistics, beaconshippingandlogistics.com, 855-374-4748. Give them a call. And we are back. Coalition Radio. Outrage porn free. Issues driven. Loud and proud. As always, Facebook.com/The Coalition Radio. And on the mighty, mighty Twitter at Coalition_radio. Go to Dave's blogs at CoalitionRadio.us. Check out the link to Beacon Shipping and Logistics. Check out our bookstore. Give us a shout. Or, this week in particular, TaylorsWiftTax.com.
We just got a tweet in from Russ Moore over at Go Local Prov. He says, very informative segment on Coalition Radio 790 AM. I was unaware of Dorian Costa's latest nonsensical self-centered bill.
If we were one of those state-of-the-art stations, I'd push the buttons and, was it Gene Wilder? No. The rantings of a lunatic madman. Not Russell, but Dorian Costa. It is with great pleasure that we introduce and continue a series. We didn't really know we had a series of shows like this, Dave, until a couple of days ago when we realized we've had, over the past few months, some of the best examples of what I'll call civic engagement, civil disobedience, political action that really this state has ever seen. We had about a month or so, we had the folks from Community Response on who were discussing ways to mitigate excessive police reaction to crime and to individual rights. We've had Greg Garrett on, who is, stands for civil disobedience in this state, is a living testament to it.
Fred Ordonez from
Ordonez for DARE. we had a wonderful conversation with, really got past the cliches, the generalizations, the rhetoric, and actually got an understanding of what DARE is really all about, which is not just blocking I-95, which we fully support, by the way, not just responding with their own unique form of political theater, but also providing a complete set of community support services to members of their community to actually raise people up. So
it's all about empowering people.
It's all about empowering people. So we continue in that vein. I guess, what are we calling it, Dave? We're calling it the
Heroes of Civil Disobedience, and we have two of them in the studio with us today. Two of the most grassroots, most civil, most disobedient people that I've had the pleasure of meeting. Mr. Peter Nightingale, of course, and my friend and former colleague at the Abel Collins for Congress campaign, Nick Kakovich.
And it's Nikki the Cat on Facebook, right?
Yeah, and on Twitter.
Okay. Just a little bit of background. Both folks are intimately involved with a couple of grassroots organizations, FANG, which is a fight against natural gas, Fossil Free Rhode Island, the Raging Grannies, which is going to demand an explanation in just a moment. But one of the hallmarks of, if you were to bring all of these folks together in one room, I think, in addition to their willingness to be arrested, their willingness to push the edge of political protest, while at the same time not just relying on histrionics, but providing folks with information that empowers them, is their willingness to also skewer, if you will, their own sacred cows. Community response to Pawtucket. Ostensibly, one initial reaction, given some of the folks who are involved in it, this is a right-wing organization. No, it's not a right-wing organization. It's a group of citizens who believe in the Constitution and believe that the Constitution protects people from egregious actions, from execrable actions, if you will, of
ding, 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 ding.
Of law enforcement, and believe that people's civil rights, regardless of color, race, origin, sexual preference, deserve to be respected. And they're willing to invest the time at the grassroots level to organize people, to get involved with municipal government, and to push their issue forward.
And to get their butts up to the State House and make their voices heard, too.
Exactly. All right? And at the same time, therefore, to challenge people who, quote-unquote, would be identified on their side. Mr. Nightingale and Mr. Kakovich have taken the same heroic approach. I mean, there's an intellectual honesty that is seen in all of these individual groups because of their willingness and their desire to not attack, shall we say, cliches, but to actually address issues. So, we've got on the website, on the announcement, we've got a now infamous video/recording. I guess, was that you, Mr. Kakovich?
I think I was in the video in question.
You are one of the laugh rioters.
You are one of the laugh rioters. Sister Alice, who I spent quality time with in the early 60s, would have called you a Weisenheimer, wouldn't she have?
Okay, I'm not familiar with that phrase. But
that's nice for Weisenhouse.
Yeah.
So let's just address that situation, but I want to spend the next 40 minutes or so really getting into the issues. So what happened that day? Give us the events leading up to your decision to protest Sheldon Whitehouse, who portrays himself as a lion, if you will, of the environmental movement.
Right. And first, thanks for having me on the show. Really appreciate it. So just a little background. We're fighting the expansion of a major gas pipeline that cuts through Rhode Island that's owned by Spectra Energy, and it brings fracked gas from Pennsylvania up through New England. Ultimately, they want to expand these pipelines for export. And myself, personally, I got involved in this fight about a year ago, and we're pretty shocked to see that both Senator Whitehouse and Senator Reid sent letters to the federal agencies that have to approve this pipeline, basically supporting the pipeline, asking that the pipeline get an expedited review. So about a year ago, we met with Senator Whitehouse's staff, asked him to change his position. They said they would think about it. We held a sit-in at his office with residents from Burrillville who would be directly impacted. From that sit-in, we got a meeting with the senator. We met with him. He seemed very concerned, but still refused to shift his position. I really appreciate what we were saying. A few months later, Peter Nightingale, who's by my side here, we held a second sit-in at Sheldon's office, at which point Peter refused to leave and was arrested. So this has been like a year-long campaign. This disruption at Yale that the video shows didn't just come out of nowhere. This has come out of like a year of organizing. So, we felt it was really important to keep escalating things nonviolently and really expose the fact that Senator Whitehouse has said things that like fracking is a blessing. And, of course, fracking is a very dangerous process of extracting natural gas that poisons people's water and hurts communities. So we saw the senator was speaking at Yale at an environmental law conference. So some of our friends in Connecticut organized this action where we disrupted his speech. Every time the senator said something positive, that he was a climate champion, the crowd started laughing. After the third laugh, we ran up to the front of the room with a banner that said "Fracked gas kills," because it does, and that's true. And then proceeded to chant and, escorted by police out of the room. So it was a fun action. On Facebook, that video got seen, I think, like 15 or 16,000 times. But just wanted to make clear, this has been a year-long process, very frustrating process with the senator. Right, and after the break, we're going to really get into the meat of the issue. And because a political movement is, as great as that political theater was, a political movement is much more than that. You're listening to the Coalition Radio on AM 790, your source for news and business. Again, Facebook.com/Coalition Radio and at the Mighty Mighty Twitter at Coalition_Radio. Join us back in a few minutes. We've got Dr. Peter Nightingale and Nick Kikaktovich, community activists and heroes of civil disobedience. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tune in every Tuesday to the Cigar Club with host Joe Hozempa. Joe will talk about premium cigars, cigar accessories, and discuss the culture and lifestyle of the cigar lover. Plus, Joe will talk to owners, vendors, and creators that master the perfect blend of cigars. Passion can be the centerpiece of life's memorable moments. Those moments should be shared with family and friends. The Cigar Club, sponsored by Quarry Brothers, suppliers of natural stone and hardscape products, and Churchill's Smoke Shop and Lounge.
Tired of the same restaurants week after week? It's time to go north of the tower and dine at 300 North. Locally sourced ingredients inspire the menu featuring traditional and non-traditional Italian fare. At 300 North, there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner featuring amazing entrees. Lighter fare like the shrimp and lobster Fra Diavolo with jumbo shrimp and lobster meat sautéed in a spicy plum tomato and spinach sauce. Located next to the Holiday Inn on Route 138 in South Kingstown, 300 North is a delicious reason to come to South County. 300north.com.
Trying to quit smoking? No luck? Cigarette smoking and tobacco use are the most preventable cause of illness and death in the country. Kodak has been providing effective, respectful, and compassionate treatment, recovery support, and prevention services since 1971. Kodak's trained and certified tobacco treatment specialists use the latest practices and information in a clinical setting that supports your efforts to be tobacco-free. Covered by health insurance, call Kodak today, 275-5037. That's 275-5037.
As a boy in Europe and at his father's knee, Fred Delman, master watchmaker, learned his craft and the importance of pride and integrity of workmanship. And Fred is never forgotten. Today you can find these exacting standards of a master European watchmaker at Delman Watch Company in Cranston. From the smallest repair to lovingly reconditioning a family heirloom, Fred never compromises his standards. Fred has vintage, pristine, pre-owned Rolex, Omega, Tag, Heuer, and Breitling refurbished by Fred with a 1-year warranty. Delman Watch, because they know your time is precious. 650 Oaklawn Ave in Cranston.
Do you freak out every time you break out? Well, I've got one word for you. Proactiv. There's a huge reason Proactiv is the #1 acne treatment in the country. It totally works. Prescription-grade Proactiv heals your acne and even prevents future breakouts. How great is that? There's a reason why so many celebrities use Proactiv. Their faces are their money. And I'm telling you, it's time to get it because Proactiv has set up a special dedicated 800 number, so get ready to punch that number into your phone. Pull over if you have to. Here's the deal. $19.95 gets you Proactiv, plus a rotating deep cleansing brush. It's valued at $45, and it's yours free. So is the shipping. For only $19.95, you, my friends, are guaranteed to get clear and stay clear, or you'll get your money back. Here's the number. 1-800-543-3313. Got it? Good. Call for a lifetime of beautiful skin. 1-800-543-3313. 1-800-543-3313.
Beacon Shipping Logistics Logistics will ship any car, any vehicle, anywhere in the United States with door-to-door service. Just call 855-3-SHIP-IT. They ship vehicles for thousands of auto dealers throughout the country, so you know you can trust them to provide the most reliable auto transport in the industry. And they